What's wrong with Happy? Is he still not eating? Erica had just given Tinto a carrot, which the horse crunched on greedily. Nothing was wrong with his appetite, at least. I shook my head, which was the only answer I could muster. A whole day and night had gone by, and my horse was still in a state of shock. Actually, it didn't really seem like shock either, but more like a trance. He showed no interest in anything around him. I tried to persuade him with all his favorite treats, but to no avail. The only thing I managed to get into him were a few swallows of water. Then he turned his back to me and stood with his head down and his ears hanging limply forward. What was wrong with him? Just as with Dino, the vet had not found any signs of illness, but you didn't have to be an expert to see that something was terribly wrong. The worst thing was that it didn't look as if Happy recognized me anymore. He looked right through me, and his gaze was just as empty as it had been the day before, when he ran out of the dense forest. It was scary and heartbreaking to see my pony suddenly changed into an empty shell, a shadow of himself. "How's it going?" "Not good." I'd been so absorbed by my own thoughts that I hadn't noticed Katelyn come into the stable. Automatically, I guarded myself against some unpleasant remark from her. But none came. Then I looked up and saw that Katelyn had tears in her eyes. I felt my heart skip a beat. At that moment, my sister looked just like the old Katelyn, the way she'd been before she changed into a Jessica clone. It looked as if she was about to say something else, but before she had a chance, there was a bang on the stable door, and I heard the voice that I hated more than anything else. "Sorry I'm late. Ready for a ride, Katelyn? The weather's perfect for a nice long one." As Jessica caught sight of me, she grimaced as if she smelled something bad. Not a single word or question about how Happy was doing. Not a word of apology, even though it was her fault that this had happened. If she hadn't been so foolhardy when she and Katelyn had made a bet about daring to touch the Bewitched Tree, as Jessica called it in a mocking tone, Happy would still have been all right. I felt my anger grow into fury as I was reminded of the way Jessica had acted after they came out of the dense forest. At first she looked like she had the devil himself on her heels, and she looked just as scared as Katelyn. But that didn't last very long. After a while she demanded to switch horses with me, saying, "This hopeless, nervous wreck of a pony can scarcely be called a horse at all." She made it sound as if I had forced her to take Happy. And before I could even register what had happened, I stood there, holding the reins of my pony while Jessica rode away on Tango, without so much as a glance at us. Katelyn had tried calling to her, and had finally ridden after her friend. After that, it was up to Eric and me to try to get Happy home, which hadn't been easy, because whatever it was that had happened to him in the forest seemed to have drained him of all his strength. When we finally got to the stable, Jessica and Katelyn were both gone. I wanted to ask Katelyn what exactly had happened, but she shut herself in her room and didn't come out all night. And now she would probably be taking off on a ride with that brute of a friend without telling me anything at all, I thought, disheartened. I looked at my sister. She didn't return my gaze, but stared at Jessica with a disbelieving look on her face. Go for a ride now? After what happened? Are you out of your mind? Jessica started, as if Katelyn had slapped her face. "Come on, you're kidding, right?" she said, tossing her head. "Don't tell me we're going to hang around here looking at that loser whine about her hopeless pony. I think I'll ride Tango again. Now that's a real horse. Nothing like that neurotic bag of hay you've got in there." She gave another contemptuous shake of her head, this time toward Happy. He was standing in his stall, paying no attention to all the loud voices booming around him. Katelyn looked at Jessica as if she'd never seen her before. "How dare you talk to my sister like that?" she said, taking a step toward Jessica. Jessica jumped back in shock. "Don't you understand that she's worried sick about Happy? And it's your fault. And mine, but mostly yours. And here you are, throwing dirt and acting as if nothing happened. What's the matter with you?" "There's nothing the matter with me," Jessica tried to sound as nonchalant as always, but it was easy to see that Katelyn's reaction had thrown her off. "You're the one who's acting weird. It's not like you haven't said it yourself, that your sister's a hopeless and incompetent loser. You're the only loser here. You're mean and hateful, and you've destroyed my pony. Get out of our stable. You'll never ride any of our horses again." Not until I heard the words was I aware that I was the one saying them. Jessica clenched her fists, and for an instant I felt scared, but she never got a chance to do anything to me. Erica moved in front of me, and, to my great surprise, Katelyn did the same. I felt a pang of joy. My sister was defending me against her own best friend. Who would have expected that? Not Jessica, evidently, because she had an incredulous expression on her face. "Get out of here," said Katelyn stiffly. "I can't believe I didn't see through you before. Kelly's right. You're hateful and cruel, and I'm sorry I was ever friends with you." The bang of the door when Jessica left the stable echoed between the walls, scaring the horses and causing them to neigh nervously. All of them except Happy. He didn't react at all, and the joy I had just felt was instantly replaced with the sting of anxiety. What on earth had happened to my sweet, wonderful pony? Who or what had taken away that joyful zest for life that had been the inspiration for his name? I knew I had to find out, fast, and I also knew who could give me the answer. I had to talk to Dad, and this time I was not letting him off the hook. The tree wriggled as the dark power inside it tried to get out. A piercing, furious whisper filled the tree and made it shiver.
The horse's vitality strengthened me. So why am I still trapped in here? Why can't I inhabit the animals the way I used to? Now it's going the other way. Their soul gets trapped in here with me. But maybe this is what I need. I have to get stronger before I can be released. But I will succeed. And when I do, nobody will be able to stop me. I'll have the revenge that I've waited for all this time.